If someone told you that a few months ago, Dragon Ball would be the biggest booming TCG of 2026, no one would have believed you. Though right now, Dragon Ball cards are literally making history, with prices rising beyond anything we've seen for 2026, and it's been a massive rise and a shock to the whole TCG space. Now, the recent buyouts and the market surges are massive, and in a way, it's a little bit worrisome because these products could get even more expensive. And there's a few reasons for this. Number one, there's not actually that much product out there. And if the way of these Pokemon fans and One Piece fans that keep migrating over, like they have been, the TCG will literally be cooked. It just does not have enough product to meet the demand. I mean, for a little example, and I always like to look at PSA pop reports to get an idea how many cards exist, but look at the insane differences when it comes to popularity. So let's just look at these two cards, which were both released in September of 2025. So you've got the Lucario Special Illustration Rare versus the Son Goku GT Alternate Art. I think these are fair cards to compare because they both released at the same time. They're both desired cards from the set, so it's kind of like a bit of a like-for-like comparison. Though here's where it gets crazy, okay? At the time of recording this video, this Mega Lucario SIR has had a whopping 7,634 copies sent into PSA to get graded. And do you know how much this Goku Alternate Art has had? Only 56 copies. If there's a massive amount of Pokemon collectors who start merging to both Dragon Ball Masters and Fusion World, there just isn't enough supply to meet that newfound demand, especially since Dragon Ball has been built like to cater a long-standing audience, and they've grown very slowly and pretty steadily with Fusion World and Masters. Though just check out these prices. All right, let's go. Let's talk about this. And I know that if you are a Dragon Ball fan, you'll understand this, but I'm going to go in with the assumption that there's a lot of people that are just kind of peeping into this TCG when I'm going over these prices. This one is the Manga Booster Box 01, which has had one of the biggest rises. This is from Dragon Ball Fusion World. Just for a little bit, I'll try to simplify this as much as I can. There is two Dragon Ball TCGs running at the same time. There is Dragon Ball Masters and there's Dragon Ball Fusion World. I'll make another video, I've actually recorded it already, but I will make a video explaining the differences between these. If you are interested in that, definitely feel free to subscribe because that is coming very soon. Though, here we have the Manga Booster Box from Dragon Ball Fusion World. This set is super iconic because it has illustrations from Akira Toriyama himself, and these are manga illustrations, very cool. But just check this out. So this set was selling, there you go, for $206 US in December, around $230 a booster box, right? Look at that, man. Right now selling for $637 a booster box. We pull that into the month graph. Look at that, man. Ever since January 24th, when the Super Anime got told it's returning and all that, look at that spike. Right now selling for $642 US. Massive, massive price growth for this Manga Booster Box, and it hasn't slowed down. Literally, it's just been rising every day, and it's a little bit worrisome because you're like, wow, when's it gonna stop? Though, there is a lot of demand now for Dragon Ball that just came out literally on a whim, and like I said, there just isn't enough product right now to cater to this audience. Here's the Manga Booster Box 02, and this is the second iteration of it, and you can see it was selling for around 100 US early January. So if you bought this just at the start of this year, 100 bucks, check this out, man. Selling for $280 already. Huge, huge growth. Not mucking around either. This is massive price growth, really serious growth as well. Now here's Dragon Ball Fusion World FB01 Awakened Pulse. So this was the first booster box that came out for Awakened Pulse. Pretty iconic. Look at that, 106 US in January, and just in a few weeks, 321 US. Massive, massive growth, serious growth, like not a joke kind of thing. Like that is really strong price growth. Though if you do want a kind of cheaper alternative at the moment, there is some Japanese products which do come. I'm just on eBay right now. You can see that the Dragon Ball Fusion World, this is the Japanese booster box, sold for 53 US just recently, and two of them sold for 89 US. They do come with 24 booster packs inside the Japanese versions, and though they have 6 packs inside the booster pack instead of 12, though at least they haven't been caught super crazily in the hype wave, but I imagine with how things are going, these are also probably going to start rising. Now, while speaking about these Japanese cards, actually a good time to talk about today's video sponsor, Buy. Now, if you've ever tried buying something from Japan online, it's likely that you can hit that annoying
warning message where it says, this item cannot be shipped to your country. Buy is a Japanese proxy shopping service that lets you buy Japanese products like you live in Japan, and they ship it straight to your door internationally. Inside Buy, you can literally search anything like Dragon Ball cards, and it will show you what's available from major Japanese retailers across the world. Now, once you buy it, Buy actually sends everything to their warehouse, and then it gets packed up and then sent to you for international shipping to places like North America, Oceania, and Europe. And also, as a cool bonus, if you're a first-time buyer, you can actually get 10% off your first order. The link for that is in the video's description. A big thanks to Buy for supporting the channel. Now let's jump back into the video.
And moving on to some Dragon Ball Masters booster boxes, here's Fearsome Rivals. You can see $91 in January 26, and right now selling for 150 US. Huge rises. Hasn't doubled in price, but the way that just spiked so quickly, it's crazy, man. Like really, really quick rises. Though here's Dragon Ball Masters History of Z booster box. This one's grown crazy, dude. Now it does have serialized cards. Also it does have a really wanted God rare. So Dragon Ball Masters have God rares or GDRs, which are insanely hard to pull. Very, very desired. Like they're like the kind of crown jewels of Dragon Ball Masters. Really good foil patterns, really good textures. They look incredible. They're obviously really hyped parts of Masters, but look at that, man. This was selling for $287 in November. Right now selling for $375. If I just pull this into the year graph, last year this was selling for 134 US. Right now selling for 393, pretty much 400 US. So big growth for a lot of Dragon Ball Masters and Fusion World. Though I think, just my intuition, some people are a bit more connected to Fusion World at the moment because it just seems like there's a long and very like successful future for it. And that is just something that's happening. But I don't think Dragon Ball Masters in any way. Also, there is still a lot of demand there and people really like the artworks. In some ways, the artworks are cooler, but Fusion World's catching up. Now, in terms of Fusion World, they have something known as Super Alternate Arts. Pretty much every set has this, it's crazy hard. It's like apparently 1 in 60 booster boxes or like 1 in every 15 cases or something. They're so hard to pull, but that's their big chase cards. They're called the Super Alternate Arts. So here's the Broly Super Alt Art from Rivals Clash. This one's been rising in price. We're selling for $381. Right now, selling for $492, has been rising. Really cool artwork as well, as you can see there. Looks fantastic, and obviously they're very hard to pull. Big market for these cards. They're crazy rare, like insanely rare. Kind of like your mega hyper rare gold, the mega hyper rares from Pokemon at the moment. The thing is, I haven't got exact pull rate data for these, but I think they're probably even more rare than that, to be honest. So they're very, very difficult to pull. Though, check that out. The Rivals Clash booster box, which that Super Alternate Art you can pull, was selling for 122 US. Right now selling for $223. The thing is, and why people are like, what's going on? It's because it's happened all in this short amount of time. And that's why I think the hype's here now. That's why I think people are like, what is happening with Dragon Ball? Because it wasn't like, oh, it just rised over the course of the year. Kind of like with History of Z, the booster box I showed you there. That kind of has been rising slowly throughout the year. It hasn't made any noise. This has all just happened crazy. This is also all like, and I think now buyouts are happening. I think now there's a bit of market manipulation coming into the scene. But before, I think it was more because the Dragon Ball Super anime got announced that it's returning. So that pretty much meant that, hey, this franchise has longevity. But now I think it's kind of moved on to something that is a little bit different. Same thing here with FB07 Wish for Shenron. Same thing, we're selling for $73 a booster box. That is like dirt cheap, dude. Dirt cheap for a booster box. Right now selling for $193. Massive growth, dude. Massive. That is just like price explosion, right? Though one card from Wish for Shenron that has just spiked crazy in price is this Son Goku GT, the alternate art. Really cool artwork. Really like Goku there on Shenron. Selling for 61 US in December. If I pull this into the 6 months, pretty much was always selling for that $60 range to around $70. Right now selling for $244. Massive hype. People want this card. And like, there you go. You can see the hype for Dragon Ball right now is really entering the scene. And people all want to know, like, what is the next steps for this franchise? What is going to happen with the TCG? And like I said, I will be talking more about this TCG and kind of getting people up to speed because I'm getting so many questions, people asking, like, people commenting, like, what's happening? Like, I know that there isn't enough content around this topic and I'd love to kind of, like, explore more of this. I know a lot of people will be like, Phil, why are you making content about Dragon Ball? Oh, man, like, the thing is, I've been a real long, loyal fan of Dragon Ball and I'm still a massive fan. Me and my daughter, we watch Dragon Ball all the time. I'm such a big fan. I've actually really believed in Fusion World as well, and I really saw the future for it. I thought it was a fantastic trading card. It got mocked a lot, and I was always sad about that because I'm like, there's so many. I've been collecting it just like, and Masters as well. I've been collecting both, and I just kind of felt like, man, they've never really grown, or really, nothing's really happened with this TCG. And yes, sure, the scalpers are coming in. Sure, people that have no idea are jumping in. I get that. But at least this is going to bring some life to one of my favorite franchises, and also it's going to bring a lot of life, and hopefully if they can kind of meet product demand, it's going to have a very long and strong future as well. So I'm kind of excited for it, and I think a lot of people are now wondering, sure, Dragon Ball's booming, sure, it's going crazy, but is it actually sustainable? I do think that because the Super Anime is returning and they've kind of provided somewhat of a roadmap of where we can see the Moro arc about to be the Dragon Ball Super getting reanimated and then the Moro arc about to be animated. I think seeing that roadmap has given a lot of confidence, and I think all these people who collected Dragon Ball, all these people who love it, they've come back and they're excited and they're ready and they can't wait. So it is something to keep in mind because a lot of people are going to be looking at this set. And like I said, the hype for Dragon Ball right now is off the charts. Though I know that like for the loyal fans who, like, we've been here for a long time, I know this kind of sucks to be seeing it from the outskirts, but I think for long term, it's going to be exciting because this means that there's going to be a lot of focus on growing this TCG. But I suppose Fusion World is a very interesting game, and I explain in this video right here the reason why Dragon Ball Fusion World is such an awesome TCG to collect and invest in. If you like this video and you want to learn more about Dragon Ball, click the video appearing on screen. Appreciate you watching, and I'll see you on the next video.